permission to speak on the entire package,
Yes, please proceed.
and I request my remarks be printed in the journal.
Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. President, I rise in support of Senate Bills 934 through 939, and I'd like to take a moment before we vote to talk about what this package actually means for the people we represent. Manufactured housing communities are home to nearly 250,000 Michiganders, working families, seniors, veterans, retirees. For many of them, their manufactured home is not just where they live, it's the single largest asset that they own. It represents, in many cases, a lifetime of work. And for decades, the laws governing those communities, the rules that are supposed to protect those investments have not meaningfully been updated.
Members, one of our colleagues is trying to address his bill while there's a lot of chatter on the floor. Please give him your attention. The President recognizes Senator Cherry.
For decades, they have not been meaningfully updated, not since 1987, nearly 40 years. In that time, Michigan has become the second highest state in the nation for private equity ownership of mobile home parks. We've seen parks fall into unlicensed operation, we have seen water services shut off, and we have seen their families have their communities sold with no recourse under the law. Under Senate Bill 934 through 939, there will be a change. And I want to be clear about what the package does and what it does not do. Because this is not a bill aimed at responsible owners who run good parks and treat their residents with dignity. This package is designed to protect them too. When bad actors drive down standards, when unlicensed operators cut corners on water, on safety, on basic upkeep, it damages the reputation of every legitimate owner in the state. A level playing field benefits everyone. At its core, this package does three things. First, it establishes real accountability. Anyone who owns a manufactured housing community in Michigan will be required to hold a license, be publicly listed in a searchable database, and meet basic standards of operation. No more ghost owners, no more shell companies collecting rent while letting infrastructure fail. And for the responsible owners who are already playing by the rules, that means they will no longer be competing against people who aren't. Second, it modernizes resident protections. Eviction standards, day-to-day operational rules, access to the courts, all of it updated to reflect the realities residents actually face today, not the world as it existed in 1987. And third, it creates new pathways for communities to survive. When a park goes up for sale, residents will have the right to negotiate. Not a government veto, just a fair notice and a structured chance to make an offer. And when they want to buy, there will be financing available through MSHDA to actually make it happen. For owners who choose that path, there's a 15% seller tax credit as an incentive. Everybody wins when communities remain intact. I want to acknowledge my colleagues on this package, Senator Bellino, Senator Chang, Senator Baer, Senator Altman, and Senator Houck. This is a bipartisan effort because this is not a partisan problem. Whether you represent Flint or Monroe, Mount Pleasant, or the Upper Peninsula, your constituents live in manufactured housing communities, and they deserve laws that work. This package was developed over more than a year of sustained negotiation with the Michigan Manufactured Housing Association, representing the industry, the Center for Civil Justice, representing the legal aid community, and Manufactured Housing Action, representing residents. All three came to the table. All three support this package. That is not an easy thing to achieve in this building, and it is worth noting. I represent Genesee County. I've met families this legislation is designed to protect. I have heard from residents in an unlicensed community who cannot get community repairs or clean water. I have heard from a township supervisor who had to go to court to get an out-of-state owner to pay their water bill, despite the residents paying theirs. This legislation does not solve every problem, but it lays down a foundation. Accountability for bad actors, certainty for responsible owners, and real protections for residents who call these communities home. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this package. Thank you very much, Mr. President.